Hi, I'm Tim Autry. Welcome to Principle 4, Connect and Collaborate, the principle of belonging. Abraham Maslow has had a huge impact on my understanding of why people do what they do. In his best-known book, Motivation and Personality, he wrote, "A sense of belonging is a human need, just like the need for food and shelter." With this in mind, I'll never forget how workforce members of one of our early clients talked so fondly of the biggest challenge their generating station had ever faced, a snow and ice storm with several days of sub-freezing temperatures. I remember it well, called Victor, one of the Union Stewards. All the unimportant BS was gone. We came together as a family to save the plant. This was in rural south central Texas, where the lowest temperature normally reached was 40 degrees Fahrenheit. The plant wasn't designed or built to handle extended periods of sub-freezing temperatures. The facility included outside areas of pipes filled with water and no insulation or heat tracing to keep them from freezing. Downed power lines had caused the plant to trip offline. If the water inside those pipes was allowed to freeze, well, you get the picture. Greg, a member of the senior leadership team, reminisced. "It was amazing how we pulled together," he said. "Attentions and perspectives of who couldn't do this or wasn't supposed to do that were absolutely gone. Each of us did whatever we could. During those 4 days, we belonged to something much more important than our petty desires or biases." Everyone I spoke with who was there at the time relayed fond recollections of how, for a few days at least, they'd pulled together as one team with one purpose. This tells us a ton about human nature and about the power of this natural principle. Humans are social creatures. Most of us have a significant need to fit in, to belong. We also need something to believe in, something bigger than ourselves. There's an invisible force that impacts how we think and feel that binds us with those around us through shared sensations. It exists inside of us and outside of us at the same time. It creates a feeling of connection. It's called social force. The effects of this force include, first of all, the desire to fit in, the need to perform in accordance with what's acceptable and what the expectations are, and contagious emotion. Here's the thing. Our need to belong prompts our desire to connect, to contribute, to collaborate. When we connect, contribute, and collaborate, we tend to receive approval and appreciation, also known as validation, from our other group members. This prompts us to connect, to contribute, and collaborate more and more because, as psychologist William James put it, the deepest principle of human nature is the craving to be appreciated. When we sense greater appreciation, our feelings of belonging strengthen. As our choices, actions, and behaviors synergize with those of other group members, the social spirit of the group grows stronger. Even in the winter event I previously described, in light of a bigger enemy, which was of course the winter storm, all of the petty us versus them BS, as Victor put it, ceased to exist. Each team member was highly supportive and appreciative of the other team members. It comes down to our sense of purpose. Look, each of us wants to matter. This is an intrinsic aspect of human nature. We want to feel that in some way our time here on this planet has made a difference. This is where many of us seek, eventually discover, and then work to level up to our individual sense of purpose. We'll talk more about this in our next principle, the principle of progress. Well, each of us tend to have our big picture sense of purpose, in other words, why we exist. This sense can be highly impacted and even temporarily replaced by changes in conditions, specific events, and by the shifting spirit within the environment surrounding us. For example, I imagine many of the team members who rallied to deal with the winter event might tell you their purpose in life was to provide for their families or to raise healthy children, and so forth. However, for those 4 days in January, their front-of-mind sense of purpose was to save the plant. Now, let's talk about what happens when social force combines with sense of purpose. Most of us love organized sports of some sort, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, soccer, cricket, hockey, rugby, volleyball, heck, even NASCAR. People love it. Why? Because the teams we follow or root for offer us a grand opportunity to experience what's called the team effect. This is especially enticing when our team wins. The team effect incorporates a strong sense of purpose, which in sports is to win, that goes far beyond the individuals involved. It's a case of mission first, team second, and individual third. It provides an orchestrated progression of connection, contribution, and collaboration, and it generates a tremendous sense of belonging to the team, including appreciation and celebration of team members along the way. And with sports, the team effect goes far beyond the players on the court, the field, or the track. Consider the passionate emotions and corresponding choices, actions, and behaviors of the fans. I have always marveled at how fans can be so ecstatic one moment and so pissed off the next. How we're willing to drive long distances, pay outrageous fees to park our cars, spend a fortune to sit in uncomfortable seats, be forced to consume overpriced food and beverages, and put up with lousy weather, getting out of jammed parking lots, and even staying up late when we have to go to work the next day. Thank you, Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night football. Logically, none of this makes any sense. However, hundreds of thousands of us around the world do this regularly. Why? To experience that feeling we crave, the energy of the team effect. Here's your opportunity. Specific emotions are readily contagious within a group of people, whether this be in a family, a team, or across an organization. These emotions can include anxiety, fear, and/or desire. As a leader and influencer, you play a pivotal role in determining the energy, the enthusiasm, and the sense of belonging within your work environment, and whether it's headed in a positive or a negative direction. Your role becomes even more instrumental when unexpected stressors and negative external conditions arise. Anxiety and fear are contagious negative emotions. You got to do whatever you need to diminish those. Desire, on the other hand, is a key part of your ticket to sustained performance improvement. Aligning the desires of individuals with the desired outcomes of the team and the organization, that's where the magic happens. Think about this. If the majority of your team members honestly feel that they belong to the team and that they too are helping make things better, how would your work environment and your organizational landscape shift? To wrap up Principle 4, you might have experienced something like the winter event at some point in your career. If so, you likely remember how those involved seemed to magically get along, how there was tremendous commitment, and how energies were highly focused on defeating the bigger enemy. You might also be thinking, heck, we never had a major external threat, and beyond that, what we do sure as heck doesn't come close to the excitement of organized sports. While this might be true, here's what you can do. First, recognize that the desire to belong, the need for something to believe in and work toward, in other words, a sense of purpose and a craving for appreciation, sit just underneath and highly impact people's choices, actions, behaviors, and interactions, including yours. Second, create and broadcast a bigger than any one of us sense of purpose as a day-to-day rallying cry for your team or organization. Here's a couple of ideas to get your creative mind flowing. The bigger picture mission for a power plant, for example, is the safe, reliable, economical, and environmentally sound generation of electricity. Everybody can rally behind that. Or the core principle of safety, where we all have the same goal, which is every team member goes home each day in the same or better condition they were in when they arrived at work. Third, consistently conduct yourself within this sense of purpose when crafting your interactions, your decisions, and your communications. In other words, role model the behaviors that you want to see in others. Fourth, overtly demonstrate appreciation for team member efforts and contributions and how they're benefiting the team. And finally, capitalize upon the energy of the team effect to move your work environment and ultimately your culture toward functioning more and more and more as one team with one goal, having one conversation.